It's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered episode 4. Today we are going to talk a little bit about politics, well, maybe a lot about politics, and just to add to the mix, something a little weird that I had seen on TikTok, and I looked it up, and long and behold, it had me questioning everything. So if you are new here, welcome to this channel and welcome to this segment of Pathetically Unfiltered, where I talk about news and have reactions, and I will be sharing some of that with you. And I am also working on a new history of, and I haven't said what that is yet. It is a big surprise and it's not anything new, but I figured let me just leave the suspense in the air. And if you are not new, welcome back. I am still going through the grieving process with the loss of my little co-host who would sit on that chair back there, and I would use that chair and she would sit up on the top and join me for these shows. So it has still been a difficult process for me. And I don't want to get emotional, but just so you know, the reason why I'm not as excited or happy and I'm a little bit subdued. So let's get started. I wanted to talk about the craziness of what's been going on with Donald Trump. Obviously, for those of us who use our critical thinking skills, knows that there is something seriously wrong with this person. And what is even more disturbing is how many of people who are not using their critical thinking skills and not thinking forward about the choices that they are making and thinking about those choices, like how it will affect others, is quite disturbing. How people just normalize the insanity. And I've brought this up time and time again. Like, we really need to stop normalizing what is not normal. It just isn't. So I'm going to talk a little bit about something he said at the Michigan rally. And there was a reaction by a person there. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the original video where you can see the person's reaction. But he just made a disparaging comment about fat people and making this fictitious wife about telling her husband to get his fat pig up and go vote. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with you.
Early voting is underway, so get everyone you know and go out and vote. Go tomorrow. It's just starting. Go and vote. Make sure you vote and bring all our friends that want to vote for us. Tell them, Jill, get your fat husband off the couch. Get that fat pig off the couch.
Okay, so this I've never heard anything like this in my life. When I was growing up, I was a young girl and I had seen Ronald Reagan giving speeches, and never in a million years would I have grown up thinking that politicians talk this way out loud. We were never privy to this type of behavior. Now, you can see this man over here laughing, right? They think it's just absolutely hilarious, the stupid ass story that he's telling. But if you go back a little bit, in other speeches, actually the camera, there's a different angle of the camera where you could see this man right here. You can see him clear as day. In the beginning, he's laughing, he's just having a good old time. The minute that Donald Trump says the comment about
Get your fat husband off the couch. Get that fat pig off the couch. Tell him to go and vote for Trump. He's going to save our country.
I am laughing because I can only imagine the thoughts that went through this man's head. In that instant, he questioned everything about himself, about why he's there. I'm almost positive. I can bet if he didn't talk to anybody about how he felt in that moment, he probably voted for Kamala Harris. He probably went to the voting and said, you know what? I am not going to vote for this bullshit. I'm going to vote for the better person who's not going to sit there and make these disparaging comments and assuming women have these fat pig husbands. I mean, men should be insulted by this. They really should. Why would you laugh? Why is that funny? Look at this dummy over here. Why is that funny? Why is that funny? Look at this woman's mouth. Look at this man laughing over here. Look at these people. What is going on? Why is this man thumbs up because the camera's facing him? Look at this other fool over here. Why is that funny? Look at everybody's reactions. Let's just go back.
Tomorrow, it's just starting. Go and vote. Make sure you vote and bring all our friends that want to vote for us. Tell them, Jill, get your fat husband off the couch. Get that fat pig off the couch. Tell him to go and vote for Trump. He's going to save our country. Get that guy the hell off her. Get him up, Jill. Slap him around. Get him up.
Oh my God. It's just the reaction of those people. Like even the black guy that was there, like he had this uncomfortable laughter and he's looking around at everybody else like, are you hearing the same thing that I'm hearing? Why? Why is it that people just think that all of this talk is okay? Yes, we are not perfect beings. Lord knows of the disparaging comments that I have made or LOL at other people's comments on Instagram or TikTok that said it out loud and I didn't. And I'm not excusing my behavior, but I am also not running for the president of the United States of America. There's a big difference. And for any politician to stand there and disparage other people, it's just absolutely unacceptable. And I'm laughing because I cannot believe how those people are reacting. This is my reaction is to laugh, but at the same time I'm absolutely disgusted. I'm disgusted that people would stand there, especially like that lady. Let's just go back to that video for a minute.
Early voting is underway, so get everyone you know and go out and vote. Go tomorrow. It's just starting. Go and vote. Make sure you vote and bring all our friends that want to vote for us. Tell them, Jill, get your fat husband off the couch. Get that fat pig off the couch. Tell him to go and vote for Trump. He's going to save our country.
Look at his reaction.
Get that guy the hell off her. Get him up, Jill. Slap him around.
I want to know what they were thinking while this fool was standing there making these comments. What if somebody there, I mean, look at this dude over here. I'm not saying that I'm in the look at this one. I mean, there's a double chin going on there. Okay, that was mean. But you see what I'm saying? Why is that funny? Okay, you know what? Let's just get off this topic cuz I'm already like not sounding right. In addition to making these disparaging comments, he goes on, I mean, he's just a walking disparaging commenter anyway. He has made comments in the past or recent past about how women love him and things that he's just done. Oh, it's in the past. No, you are supposed to be the representation of our country. And if you read comments from other people in other countries, they are not impressed. No one is impressed with this type of rhetoric, with this type of speech, with this type of talk. No one is impressed with it. Why my dogs are barking, I have no idea, but let's continue. Here's my whole thing with this. This is not General Hospital. This is not Luke and Laura. And we all know that storyline. Like, you know, a horrible thing happened in that scene. And then later on, Luke gets forgiven somehow. And people are just writing everything up. And then Luke and Laura becomes like this super couple of General Hospital. This is real life. This is not General Hospital or Jack and Jennifer of Days of Our Lives. If you know that storyline too, he did the same thing. And these people get to be, their character gets redeemed because I guess the writers probably figured out, hey, this could be like a super couple. So let's redeem this character. This is not anything that he could redeem himself from or come back from. It's already done. The man is a POS, and we all know it. And there are people who will still sit there and defend the narrative. Well, I had more money. This isn't about having more money. This is about integrity. Where is the integrity? Today I was on a live on TikTok, and I think the guy's name is Zeus, and he brings people on who are Trump supporters to explain themselves why they are. The creator is a black man. So basically, his target was he wants to understand why black men would continue to vote for a person who is clearly a racist. Now, I watched the Michael Cohen channel. I believe everything that Michael Cohen is saying. This is not a person who is angry about what happened to him. This is a person who was on the inside, who was privy to information, who was there listening to all of the disparaging comments that Donald Trump was making. Why would he lie about that? It is clear he's telling the truth because you hear it day after day from this man's mouth. And for a person of color to even consider voting for trash like this, and now let's just forget about the fact of Democrat versus Republican versus libertarian. This isn't about parties, and Liz Cheney said it best, it's country over party. So let's just forget all of that. Well, are you right, left, this and that? All of that to me is irrelevant. This is about integrity. This is about our democracy and our country, who we are as a people representing freedom. There was a reason why people come into this country, because they knew they had better opportunities here than they did in their homeland. That's why people came here. If they were a chef, if they wanted to be a doctor, and they found that the education here is better as opposed to their country, they have a right to do that. People just don't come here so they can get on welfare. If somebody has conjured that shit up in your mind, there are people who come here for a better opportunity. They always have. I talk to many of different people, and let me tell you something. There are a lot of people that came here solely for the education because they knew if they get a good education, they can get a good paying job. How can you hate on that? How can anyone hate on that? It doesn't make any sense at all. And you have this fool that's talking shit every day to people. He goes to the city of Detroit and telling people, well, if you vote in Kamala, everything is going to get destroyed. Look at what's going on here in Detroit. Right. Disparage people that you are in the city disparaging in. Why would you do that? Does it make any sense? For somebody who has integrity and who has critical thinking skills, they would say, no, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all why I would sit here and put up with abuse. This is the way, like, I also chalk it up to women who are for this. What is wrong with you? What happened in your past relationships? What abuse did you endure that you think this is okay? Well, he's just talking a lot, but he doesn't mean anything by it. Is he going to buy you flowers later and make it all feel better? It doesn't work like that. We all know that once they buy the flowers and they say that they're sorry, they are going to do it again. That is the straight up truth. Let me tell you something. I was with a narcissist for a little more than a year. I couldn't wait to get rid of him. I knew something wasn't right. And granted that he did not put his hand on me because I was not having it. The whole mental torture thing was enough for me to question my own sanity. I don't want to go through that again. You think I want to go through it on a bigger spectrum that's out of my control? What I can control is that I voted the other day, and I even read all of those propositions because let me tell you something, that double speak, they try to con you there too. I had to look everything up, read everything, and what I didn't know, I went and contacted Tizzy because I was confused about one. And he was able to clarify that for me. That is just complete and utter insanity. And then just going back to this creator, I got interrupted. Going back to this creator, he wanted to understand as a black man, why would another black man vote for someone who is clearly a racist? Peter Thomas from Real Housewives of Atlanta. He has an Instagram account, and in that Instagram account, he's been posting, and some black dude, he's like, well, I'm for Trump. I'm voting for Trump. And then, of course, everybody starts ripping him to shreds. And I made a comment and said something. What's wrong with you? Because you understand you will be out in the field. And then he tries to clap back, talking about, well, you're not white. You'll be out in the field with me. You're damn straight, motherfucker. You think that I'm trying to be out in the field with you? No. Critical thinking tells me vote the right way. This isn't about Democrat versus Republican. This is about common sense. So you're right. No, I don't want to be out in the field with you. If you want to make that choice, then you make it on your own. But I'm not. So now let's talk about what happened at the 39-minute song playing insanity that went on this town hall. The town hall is specifically for people to ask questions. This is a good time for undecided voters to just really understand what stance are you taking on XYZ policy, whatever questions people have. So he got tired of asking questions. And here on the Michael Cohen channel, he talks about what took place, how he was telling people to go out and vote January 5th instead of November 5th. And you see the reporter's face. Now, there's music that's going to play. I'm going to have to mute it, but you can basically see everyone's reactions, which is the most important part of all of this song playing and dancing all on his part of what's going on.
Pennsylvania, showing his mental state. And maybe you'll understand why he doesn't want to release his medical records. Play the first clip.
It will be, I'll tell you, if everything works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January 5th or before,
He has no idea for, in fact, what day. He completely forgot that it's November 5th is election day. All right.
Now, here's the thing. Let's just go back a little bit here. When he makes that comment,
works out, if everybody gets out and votes on January.
Look at her face. She has this worried look on her face like, what's going on? This is not part of the script. That's like somebody going off script. You know how like people ad lib and then you just got to ad lib along with them and kind of hope for the best? That's what's going on over here. She has this terrified look on her face. Like, what should I do? Should I just keep following along or should I just guide him off the stage? Okay, let's just move up over here. Now, here he is. Here's this dude on the phone. This dude in the white shirt whispering something. And did you see this guy's reaction? He's like, gee, I don't know what's going on. Let's just play along. Look at this. Look at this guy. You think this guy changed his vote? They're like, what is going on here? Look at this guy. This is the part that cracked me up. Somebody did a whole video on him clapping. It was the most hilarious thing that I have seen in a long time. And I had reposted and I said, when you start questioning your existence because you've been listening to a narcissist this whole time. You don't think that these people are concerned in one form or another? They're kind of looking at each other like, do we just dance? Do we just keep going? 39 minutes. Imagine yourself. Let's just use this as an example. You go to a concert of your favorite musician. I don't even want to, I was going to say a musician, but I don't even want to disparage any of what I like. But let's just say you're going to see your favorite musician. You're looking forward to those favorite songs. And then they just sit there and talk to you for a whole hour. No music, no nothing. They're just talking about nothing, not even about their personal life, about nothing. Is that what you paid $300 for, to sit in a front row to hear a musician talk? Nothing about music, nothing about their personal life. They're just going to sit there and talk gibberish, talk nonsense. Nobody pays $300 for that. When I was studying acting, I'll never forget it. One of the teachers that I had, she had made a funny comment. I forget who it was that was on the stage, because, you know, we would do all of these practices and somebody did something terrible. And she was like, I want my $65 back. Now, think about it. Back then in the like late 90s, early 2000s, that was probably the price of a ticket for Broadway, which is not now. Can you just imagine that? And then here's the other thing that I wanted to bring up. So there was something that I was listening to a while back when he was talking about the electricity versus the sharks. And only one thing came to mind. So I found this clip and it had me wondering, like, why was he going off on this tirade? And if you really listen to what he's talking about, I'm going to play this clip.
Very short period of time. So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too, a lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
What? Like, what the actual fuck? Was he rewriting like Jaws? Because if you go and you look at the ending of Jaws 2.
Where'd he go? Where is he? Oh. There he is! There he is! Over there! Chief! What the hell are you doing? Get out of there! Chief, he's heading right for you! Watch out! All right, you big Come on! I got something for That's it! Atta boy! Come on! Right over here! That's it. Come on!
Watch out!
Come on! Come on! Open wide! Open wide! See ya!
Am I crazy? Is anybody not going to see the comparison? It's the same thing. He's sitting there in the audience, probably in his head, thinking about the movie Jaws 2. And I'm saying to myself, why is anybody listening to all of this? This is where my mind went, because I think that I tried to understand the levels of insanity just so that I could avoid being that crazy and take a vitamin so that my memory doesn't mess up. Now let's talk about my favorite topic, Arnold Palmer's penis. Now I'm being sarcastic, of course, because I am not interested in knowing about a man who is no longer in existence in this world as we know it, about his private parts. Why would anybody want to know that? So here I am watching Michael Cohen again, because I'll tell you, this man is very, very entertaining. I probably conjured his spirit up just so that I could share this video with you in the midst of my grief, that he talks about Donald Trump talking about Arnold Palmer's fingerling. And I'm going to show you the one guy. There are two different reactions here in the audience.
He decides that he wants to start talking about his penis at a rally. Now, you can't make this stuff up. This is true. The comment is not just inappropriate for locker room talk, it's inappropriate for a presidential rally, which is exactly what was going on. And I'm not making this up. Play the clip.
This guy, this is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Well, oh my God, look at the size of his putter. I mean, what the fuck?
Look at this man's face right here. I wish that he didn't have glasses on just so that I could see the terror in his eyes. You are a man's man, and you're sitting there listening to this dum-dum over here talk about a dead man's wee. And then this one, he was laughing. If you go back a little bit.
This is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God.
And then this looks like a kid over here. I just noticed that. Look at his face. That kid's face. I don't know if I can make it big over here. Let me see if I could like zoom in. What do you say to that? I'm like in a state of shock over here. This guy is not amused. And this kid over here is going to have nightmares for the rest of their lives because this dodo head dummy is talking about a dead man's wee. And then people are like, well, he's just talking. He's just talking. He doesn't mean anything by it. He's just talking. I'm doing like my very thick New York accent. He's just talking. He's just talking. He's just talking. This is a person who's running for the president of the United States. I don't know any other president that talked like that. I don't know any other president that had to talk about other people's private parts. Why is that relevant? Why are we talking about this? Yes. Does it make for good humor? Absolutely, it does. If he was not running for president of the United States, then we could sit here and have a wonderful laugh about it. But the reality is, it's not funny because there are people who are stuck in their ways about what is really going on. When I was on that guy's live this morning, I couldn't believe one black guy on there. They understood he loves his child and he's all about family and he's all about maybe God first for himself or God fearing, however he lives, whatever his religion is. But to sit there and only be stuck on, well, when Trump was president, I had more money in my pocket. Well, where were you going? Where were you going? If you were an essential worker, I'm sure that you were getting paid. But if you were not an essential worker, and somebody had put it like this, well, gas prices was down. Yeah, where were you going? Somebody was talking about supply and demand. Actually, Michael Cohen was talking about supply and demand. If there really isn't a demand for it, guess what? The price is going to go down because they're trying to get rid of that stock. Why do you think things go on sale? Why is it that right after Halloween, anything that's left over for Halloween, they're trying to push out and get rid of? The prices get slashed in half because they're trying to get rid of that inventory so that they could start stocking up for things for Christmas. That's the way things work. Granted, I'm not a big economy girl. We took economics in class, and I was in school. I didn't care about all this because I was saying to myself, who's going to need all this? And now here I am as an adult saying, damn, I wish I paid attention a little bit more. But yes, I put myself through college and I took communication because I wanted to understand communication and journalism and how to express yourself. Because once upon a time, journalists, they just gave the news. They weren't giving their opinion. We didn't hear Roger Grimsby's opinion. He just said the news. This is what happened today. Good night. That was it. You didn't hear how he felt about it. How did you feel about XYZ murder? How did you feel about XYZ robbery? We heard none of that. Bill Butel, he wasn't talking about that. They gave the news. Hi, Roger. Hi, Bill. This is the news. Good night. And that was that. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to offer their opinion without offering anything to back it up. There was a girl I was watching when people do like duets, and this guy was like, oh, well, what did you hear? Because he's duetting her misinformation that she just got endorsed by the Heritage Foundation. Where are you getting this information from? It's almost as if people find a snippet of something and they don't hear or read the whole thing. They run by that little itty bitty piece of information, and the rest, they make it up as they go along. And this is what's frightening about obtaining information and the correct information. I remember years ago when I was using Facebook quite often, I noticed people were posting things and posting a picture and saying they said this. And then I would be like, well, where's the video so I can hear it for myself? And then they would get upset with me. Well, why do you need the video for? Because I want to hear it. I think I'm allowed to do some research and make my own decision behind what I just heard and not just go by your word for it. I'm not saying that your word is in bond. I'm just saying, can I make a decision? Can I make an educated decision for myself? We are all allowed to do that. This is the thing that's disturbing. Yes, we are allowed to make educated decisions. What works best for us? What is disturbing is how people get stuck in their mindset. Oh, I'm voting for him because I had more money. And that's it? You think that you're going to have more money with him being back in the White House? Donald Trump does not care about you. He does not care about your well being. He has expressed disturbing things that he wants to do that when we turn on the TV, we're seeing that in other countries. We're seeing women's rights taken away. And we say to ourselves, those people, how are they living like that? I am not trying to find out. I'm not trying to find out. I am not interested in anybody's Christianity, religion. I left that shit a long time ago and with good reason. And I have been happier without it. I don't believe in that. I believe in what works for me. And that's something that's personal, that's between me and the higher power of my understanding. If somebody wants to know about it, then they can ask me and I will share with them. Otherwise, it is not my place to infiltrate other people and say, this is what you should believe in. This is how you should live. There is a line of critical thinking of how one can affect somebody else's life when you're doing things without their permission. And this is the definition of a narcissist. And I know it because I lived it. I lived with it for over a year, and it was a fucking disaster and it was a nightmare. And I don't wish it on anybody. It was the worst experience I ever had in my life. And then people could think, oh, well, Maribel, you're just taking it personal because of what happened to you. Hells yeah, because I see it. My eyes are open to it. Open your eyes. Because it's pathetic. And it's pathetic to hear men of color speaking about this person like he is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it goes back to my point. This isn't about Democrat versus Republican or versus independent. This is about humanity. That's what this is about. And if you cannot see past your own selfishness, then maybe get some therapy. Okay, enough of the whole political spectrum. It's a lot. And I got riled up. I was on TikTok earlier and I came across this video, which to me was very, very strange. It's always something that comes up that's weird. So this lady is talking about, do you remember what happened to Anne Heche? And I'm like, she met her demise from a car accident. And it's something that she said that just really freaked me out.
And then they put her in the bag because they said she was unalived in the accident and that she burnt up. But then on the way to the ambulance, she came up out that bag and she wasn't burnt up. But then they pushed her back down and shoved her in the ambulance. And then next.
Okay. So she says this and I'm like, of course, just like I said before, I have to look this up for myself, which I did. And it was one of the most freakiest things that I've ever seen in my life.
One more time at that video that we saw earlier this afternoon of a car going into a house taking place there out in Mar Vista.
House of Preston, and car slam.
As we can see the helicopter video there of the car in the house, you can see firefighters on the scene there taking that car out from the house. Fox 11 in Los Angeles said the driver went into that house and sparked a fire. Firefighters were on the scene just before 11 a.m. on the West Coast. A car, a Mini Cooper, you can see there, went through the house, causing a massive fire. Within an hour, the
now,
firefighters,
fast forward this a little bit. They're taking her out You see this, they're taking her out. If I just scroll back a little bit, just so that you can see.
Real quick, they were taken to the hospital, as you can see there, in a hurry to get out of that car that crashed
Now you
into
see
that home.
her feet
They were
are
worried
here.
about the structural
See her
damage
feet?
of that home as it was built in the 1950s, and you could see the house give way a little bit there in the house. So they were concerned about that, and also concerned about the person, the driver, who was identified as Ann Heche. You probably know the name from TV and movies, from 6 Days, 7 Nights, Donnie Brasco, Wag the Dog, Volcano, a bunch of movies.
And then she opens up the
There is a
bag.
dramatic moment there just before being put into the ambulance to take to the hospital. That driver was identified as Ann Heche. You can see we slowed it down a little bit for you as firefighters were trying to help this woman.
Why was she zippered up in there like they were taking her away to the morgue? Clearly, she was very much alive. And not only that, but strong enough to unzip that thing and get herself out of it. Did they think that she had passed away at some point? I don't know. That was freaky. Sometimes I like to end these things with a little bit of something to think about, like a cliffhanger. So I will end it here. You let me know your thoughts with Donald Trump and all of his antics. And then, of course, this mysterious thing about Anne Heche. And should I look into it a little bit more? So, with all that being said, I want to thank everybody to continue in supporting my channel. Please get me up to 1,000 subscribers. Watch this video, hit like. I think I said subscribe. I'm losing my voice. My nose is kind of stuffed up. I don't know why. But yes, if you can do all of that and share this video, and please show your support for this channel, I would greatly appreciate it. Miss Nikki appreciates it. I know her little cat spirit is somewhere here. And with all that being said, this is Maribel Blues signing off. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.